Let's discuss this very difficult subject a little further. We're joined by Bharti Patel, Chief Executive of ECPAT UK, which is a UK-based children's charity which campaigns against child trafficking and child exploitation in travel and tourism. Bharti, the places where our correspondent Angus visited, traditionally these were places where abusers would physically visit, yet this kind of cyber sex, it's changed the whole dynamic of this crime.
It has very much changed it. You're absolutely right. These were the sex tourism areas, and this is what the British or people went to perform sexual activities with children. With the new form of access to the internet, what we're calling this, it is the modern age of child sex tourism. An individual no longer needs to pay for that travel to go abroad, find children to have sex with. They can do this online. They can ask a child, pay for a child to perform sexual acts online, which then, don't forget, can be recorded and then distributed. So you're talking about the child abuse happening not just between the perpetrator, initial perpetrator and the child, but then it can happen through several other perpetrators who are offending and abusing the child time and time and time after that.
What is deeply alarming, say in the cases that Angus was discussing, is that it is often the relatives, and not just the relatives, the parents that are facilitating this, the people that should be ultimately protecting the children.
That is so worrying, that you are seeing that the situation of certain communities and some parents is so bad that they are almost forced to sell their children and forced to sell their children. Now, this is not an excuse. Nothing can excuse child abuse, and every action of child abuse needs to be addressed very, very strictly and very severely. But I think it is a very complex situation, and I think governments of Philippines, as well as other governments, need to understand why this is happening, why are parents doing this. But the other question is that there is a demand for it. Let's be very clear that some of the payments for the children to perform these actions online is made by some of the people living in the rich nations. We're talking about British nationals who are doing this to very vulnerable children. They're taking advantage of children's disadvantaged socio-economic situations. That has to be addressed. So again, I think we as in the rich nations have a responsibility. Our governments have a responsibility. The industry, that the medium which is used to see children do this and transfer data and abusive images of children, also has a responsibility. We need to stop this. The police has a responsibility in this country as well as in the Philippines.
Bharti, just briefly, if, as we saw in those places in the Philippines, if no one's talking about it, how on earth do you access those vulnerable children?
Well, I think this kind of program means that we are talking about it. This reaches out to hundreds and thousands of viewers. You're absolutely right. We need to be talking about it. Parents need to know that the short-term gains that they may be getting from the payment for their child to be abused has a very long-term serious consequences on the child as he becomes an adult. That needs to be addressed. There is a lot more education to be done. Also, we need to find alternative approaches to parents being able to earn a living, where it shouldn't be a question of selling your child, that they have to be found other opportunities to be able to earn a living and feed that child. So we all have a part to play, and I think development agencies certainly have a part to play on this.
Okay, Bharti Patel from ECPAT UK, we wish you the best of luck with your work. Thank you.
Thank you.